countries across the world to explore alternatives to the use of plastic bags as part of efforts to tackle pollution. Dr. Ruto asked producers and innovators to rethink plastic products and packaging to reflect the principles of reuse, refill and repair. The head of state was addressing delegates at the third session of the Intergovernmental Negotiating Committee to develop an international legally binding plastics treaty, which kicked off in Nairobi today. Take a look. The dawn of plastics, a transformative class of materials, can be traced back to the 20th century. In 1907, the innovative Belgian chemist and great marketer Leo Baekeland engraved his name in history by pioneering the first fully synthetic plastic. He beat his Scottish rival James Swinburne to the patent office by one day. His invention, which he would christen bakelite, combined two chemicals, formaldehyde and phenol, under heat and pressure. For 116 years now and counting since the first plastic invention, trillions of plastic products have been produced by the multi-trillion-dollar plastics industry. However, the world is making more noise on the ban of plastics. The latest clarion call coming from the United Nations Environment Programme UNEP, headquartered in Nairobi. Kenya's President Dr. William Ruto challenged delegates at the third session of the Intergovernmental Negotiating Committee to develop an internationally legally binding plastics treaty.
But the threat of plastics to our planet, our health, and our future is of such magnitude that it requires all of us, and I mean all of us, the Global South and the Global North, to develop and execute a global instrument that will help us to neutralize the threat of plastic pollution in our world.
Plastic pollution is a planetary crisis with impacts on ecosystems, biodiversity, the climate and human health. Without new and effective control measures, plastic production is set to double in 20 years and plastic waste leaking into the ocean is projected to triple by 2040. But which measures would be needed globally to bring us closer to a world without plastic pollution? President Ruto argues that there is need to explore alternative options such as non-plastic substitutes and plastic products that do not have negative environmental, health and social impacts.
It is now time for investors, multinational corporations and technology companies to shift strategic investment to reduce their plastic waste footprint.
Countries such as Kenya have introduced a ban on plastic bags. Although the journey ahead is long, every year more than 400 million tons of plastic waste are produced globally. 23 million tons find their way into rivers, lakes and oceans, and less than 10% is recycled. Across the world, 46% of plastic waste is landfilled, 22% is mismanaged and becomes litter, while 17% is incinerated.
I would like to affirm Kenya's commitment to ending plastic pollution. We demonstrated this commitment with a ban on the manufacture and use of polythene bags in 2017.
While the strategies for addressing the issue of plastics vary, there is a consensus among global leaders that a fundamental shift in the way humanity consumes, produces and discards waste is imperative. Ambassador Meza Quadra, chairman of the United Nations Environment Programme UNEP, emphasizes that the core of finding alternative solutions to the use of plastic bags lies in collective responsibility. UNEP Executive Director Inga Anderson, on her part, has pointed out the need for a comprehensive approach in tackling the problem of plastic use from its product to packaging.
African businesses have innovated in spaces like mobile money. We see this here in this country. And Africa is a continent of natural resources that can be used for planet-friendly alternatives.
The legally binding plastics treaty will be out by 2024. With the development of such treaties and legally binding agreements, will the world succeed in ending plastic pollution? Time will tell. George Maringa, TV47, Nairobi. Now, days after the